Well, hello, everybody.
Good morning.
Good evening.
Good afternoon.
Good
Whenever you're listening,
mid-morning.
we wish you well.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. Guys, we're playing a risky game here. We've started recording fairly late in the afternoon.
Yes.
So if you're watching this on YouTube, let's just excuse the fact the light will fade with us.
It's currently 10 to 3.
But we just wanted to come on here today and just have a little natter, really.
We really did. We've not done too much planning. We've not done any planning. We're just going to see where the conversation takes us.
Just going to roll with the punches.
So this is real-time conversation with Soph and Rach.
Yeah, and do you know what? I think we just jump in.
I feel like there's a high chance that there's going to be quite a lot of this that gets cut out.
Right, brilliant.
As in, because...
And that's what makes the best kind of episode, guys.
I just think when we haven't planned, we're going to end up saying something that is too exposing. We're all for a bit of vulnerability, but that's just how I'm feeling right now.
And on that note, you can probably suspect that the episode today involves boys. Relationships. We're back there again.
Not even so much relationships though.
No, but just like, I don't know, anytime.
It's in that realm, that category.
It is. So should we jump in?
Let's jump in.
So the title of today's episode is It's Not Just You Who Tries to Impress Boys with the Way That You Look. Sophie Crew, do you
Why couldn't me
try
first?
to... Do you... What's that question? Do you or have you ever or do you try to impress boys with the way that you look? Now don't lie on the podcast. No.
I've never done that. I feel really
the
bad.
lie detector goes off.
It's just one of those ones I just can't relate to.
Oh, shut up.
So the mic's over to you, Rach.
Have you? Or do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or as in...
I mean, I think it's only natural when you're trying to attract a mate.
When a male species and a female species.
Yeah.
It's science.
Oh yeah, I'm just going to put it out there. I think that's pretty natural. I think at some point everyone has tried to either impress a specific guy with the way that you look.
A specific mate.
When you may be courting. Or you've just generally tried to
Just
look attractive.
look 10 out of 10.
You've tried to look like a baddie.
For the mandem. Doing it for the mandem. Rach.
Oh.
Well, you've not really answered. Have you?
Yes.
Cool. Just wanted to just get that on,
Brilliant.
on record.
You now have that
Clear
on
as
record.
day.
We both have tried to do that.
Yes.
What does that look like for
I was
you?
just going to say the same thing to you.
What does that look like for you in your everyday?
He's like feather boa. But you know, like a peacock.
No, okay.
It's like
on
that.
the everyday, would you say that's a thought?
Depends who's around.
Okay.
No, I'm joking. I'd say overall, day to day, no. But that's more out of, well, not more out of. I think a big part of that is CBA kind of laziness.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When you're like, I'm going to work. At work I'm like, nah.
But do you know what is an interesting question? Every time you try to look attractive, is the subconscious motive to impress a boy? Because I think some people at this point would now argue, actually, they're not trying to impress any boy. They're doing it for themselves.
Yeah.
Do
You've
you-
just done some air quotations there.
Air quotations. Do you think that's possible?
I think that it can be.
Yeah.
For me, I would say there's been times where genuinely I'm getting ready and I'm going out with all girls.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm going out with the girlfriends, the girls. There's no boys there, but you still want to get dressed up.
Yeah.
You still want to look nice.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah.
Definitely.
It is a thing where not every time you're dressing up or putting on makeup or doing your hair
It's
in a
for
certain
male
way.
attraction.
Yeah, no.
No.
Heck no.
Absolutely not.
I would say that there's loads of times actually where you just think, I just want to feel nice.
But is the
and feel
subconscious motive there though? Because like you're not. It's just an interesting question, isn't it? Because then it's like, are you wanting your friends to think you're attractive?
Yeah, as in I'd say that there's always some percentage of wanting affirmation from other people.
Yeah.
Whether it's your friends,
Yeah.
whether it's a guy. But I would say, yeah, you can not always dress and want to make an effort with your appearance purely just for male attention.
No.
But I would say there can often be
An intention of like affirmation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Which, yeah, is interesting.
It is interesting. Why do you think that is, Nick?
Very.
What would that involve for you? As in, would that be? Do you think it's more for you just generally wanting guys to think you're attractive, or do you think it would be more? There's a certain person that I'm trying to impress.
I think I probably lean more on the second option.
The certain
I think
person option.
generally I'm not thinking, like I would say the times that I am most aware of how I look is around a guy that I like.
Yes.
So
like day to day.
Yeah. So subconsciously I might think, you know, I might just be in a space where there's loads of guys and subconsciously want them to think that I'm attractive. But consciously, I'm not thinking, oh, I'm going to get ready and like make a real effort today so that I go to this space and hopefully generically people think I'm attractive. I would say that it becomes more of a conscious thought of like, you know, I'm sat doing my makeup or, you know, putting an outfit on, like consciously thinking about it when there's like one guy that I want to impress.
Yeah.
Or
so
like
you're getting ready and thinking that person's going to be there.
Yeah. Or
Let me
like
spend an
or
extra
just
10
like
minutes.
the energy of like you're going on a date or like you're hanging out with a guy that you want and you want them to find you attractive. Like basically like that is probably when I will think most about how I look generally probably. Which I think then comes back to almost the like just thing of like attracting a mate.
Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's just a normal, natural thing? Do you think it's something that actually you don't want to do?
I don't know. It's a hard one, isn't it? Because I think there's just a line with everything where it's like, yeah, like I would say it is probably just a natural thing and there's not necessarily a lot of harm in terms of thinking, oh, do you know what? I really fancy this guy. I like this guy. You know, he's interested in me. Like, oh, I want to make an effort and look nice and, you know, feel confident in myself. But then it can just very quickly become, I think it's when it becomes consuming in your mind and you're like stressed, like straightening your hair, like panicking, like slapping on makeup, or like you feel like, oh crap, like I can't see this guy unless I look like this or look like that. That's when I'm like, oh, that's just like, that's not it. Like you don't want to have to be stressing about how you look.
I think a big thing as well where it verges into the unhealthy kind of category is when you start maybe really changing things about yourself or doing things purely for the sole intention of I want this person to find me attractive. So like you say, I don't think there's any harm in putting in effort when you like a guy. I think that's just normal. I think that's fine. But I think, I don't know, let's say you find out, oh, his type is brunettes and you're blonde and you're like, right, off to the hair salon. I'm dyeing my hair brown.
Surely not.
Or like, I mean, whatever the guy you like says, I would date a girl that was this kind of size and you're not that size and trying to change your body or this fashion, right? Bin the wardrobe, I'm going to go and buy some new clothes.
Yes.
Like, I think when it, like you say, when it becomes all consuming or when you're doing all this stuff literally purely for the intention of this guy, I think that's where it's just not good because what you're going to build a whole fake persona or change everything about you so that this guy finds you attractive. What you're going to do, just do that for your whole life.
Yeah.
And just like, is that even really you?
Have you ever had a moment of like almost catching yourself mid doing something to your appearance or whatever and being like, Soph, man, like you've got to calm down here? Do you know what I mean? Like, have you ever been like mid, I don't know, like getting ready or buying something or like you say, changing something and being like, oh dear. Because I'm just thinking there's probably been times for me where I think it's almost just like I'll go along with something that I'm doing in the moment, and then I just look back like later that day, like as if I spent that long getting ready, or like as if I like, or you know, where you've just kind of prioritized the wrong things in a day, like been late to something because you've like spent that amount of time getting, like, do you know what I mean? Like where you're like, oh, I just took it too far there.
Don't be such a loser.
Yeah.
And that's it. I think sometimes it's just as if I'm spending that much energy trying to impress someone.
Yeah.
And I think
or where you've like really just deeped an outfit or something like that, where it's just like, oh my gosh.
And this is the thing that I'm learning / have learnt about guys. They don't flip and notice. They don't notice if you've got makeup on. They don't notice if you've picked an outfit. They know what you look like. So if you're putting on makeup thinking, oh, they're going to see me in a different way, they're not.
Yeah. I mean, unless it's like a dramatic, like you've done a full face, like come in a dress.
Yeah, but I do just think that day to day.
No, yeah, not on the day to day.
Genuinely, I just don't think. I think they kind of lock in a perception of you, what you look like, and then I don't think,
yeah,
I bought this new top.
Do you think
it's going to change the fact that?
Yeah.
That's just my personal.
Have there ever been times where it's become unhealthy in your head, like the narrative of like? Because I think at times for me, I have got myself into cycles of thinking I can't not wear makeup, and like you say, it's kind of quite funny when you actually just zoom out because you're like, what am I doing? Okay, putting on a bit of mascara, like. In the grand scheme of things, it's really not changing how I look that much. But there have been times like I remember even at like secondary school, I think I got into this habit of being like, I physically can't not wear like a bit of concealer under my eyes because my under eye circles are so dark. And like, you know, where you're just like, and obviously like different people, I don't know, have different things that they just feel more confident if they've done it.
Yeah.
But like, you know, where you're like, when you just suddenly realise you're in that cycle of like, oh wait, I now actually think that I look awful without this one thing.
But take the mascara example. So what, you've made your eyelashes a tiny bit longer and a bit darker. Do you actually think that a guy's going to go, I didn't like you, but then I saw you with mascara on, and then I did like you? Do you know what I mean? I think it's, in your head you can get so stuck in thinking, like you say, oh, I can't let them see me without this. Then I'm telling you now, they might notice, but it's not going to change. Overall.
And to be fair, like even if
you were a 2 and now you're an 11 out of 10.
And even if you do wear a full face of makeup or whatever, again, it's just like in the grand scheme of things, you look how you look. So I guess the point I'm getting at is like, I feel like I've got to learn, and we've got to learn almost how to just embrace, I guess, who we are and the way that we look, because it's like, well, you either like me for how I look or you don't.
Yeah.
Obviously like who I am, but also like you either like the way I look and you're attracted to the way I look, or you don't. There's not a lot that I can actually do to change that.
Unless you're going to go have a nose job.
Yeah.
Like major plastic surgery and something that's going to totally transform your appearance. I do just think that, you either like me or you don't.
Yeah.
And there's not actually loads that I think will really change that in a guy's mind. But I think as girls, we can really think that, doing all this stuff is actually going to change that. I don't think it will.
No.
That's my personal opinion. Other people might think differently, but...
Yeah, but then how do you stop yourself doing that then?
Doing what?
So let's say party rolls around.
Yeah.
The guy you like's going. How... I don't know, just... Because I think it's such a mind game, isn't it? Like, it's all about the thoughts you're thinking, how you feel. And like, even I think as girls before a party, the temptation is to get so stressed or just like inwardly worked up about how you're looking. And maybe it's out of that place of wanting to impress that certain guy. It's like, how do you not do that?
It's hard though, isn't it? Because like we said at the start, I think there is a level of...
You want to.
That's okay. But I think it's where you're just... I know for me where there's been times where I've really, really been seeking that validation or that affirmation from a guy. And that's what your whole evening or your whole mood is based around.
Yeah.
And if you get it, oh my gosh, you're on top of the world.
You're the fittest girl
Feeling
ever.
10 out of 10. And if you don't, then you're in the pits and it feels rubbish.
And you're just comparing yourself to everyone else.
And I think that it's a kind of slippery slope of, of course, if you're going to a party, dress up nice, do what you wear stuff that's going to make you feel confident. But I don't know. I just think it's hard to kind of sometimes separate that from then letting it go into a space that's a bit unhealthy and where that's what you're really basing your whole evening or your whole, I don't know, even week around, is just how can I look at the best I can to get attention from the person I want.
I think I'm just thinking now, there's just so much more to life than that in terms of if you're getting ready for a party and you're with your friends or maybe you're on your own, there is just more to life than being incredibly stressed about how a guy thinks you look. In terms of even if you are with your friends, I guess it's almost just trying to take your thoughts off yourself and your appearance and the guy, and more I'm with my mates, how can this just be a fun time? Or I think again, even we've spoken about before with comparison, it's how can you, I don't know, just love your friends in that moment and focus on them and, encourage them or help them get ready. Or if you're on your own, how can you, I don't know, just try and take some of your thinking off me and how I look.
Yeah.
I think that's been a helpful thing for me because it can just so quickly become tunnel visioned and just kind of you've gone down this hole where everything feels so overwhelming because you're just focused on how you look.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
And it's how can you just expand your thinking beyond that and think, okay, even with this party, how can I just go and have a good time and be with my mates? And great, if this guy thinks that I look good, cool. But also there's a lot more to me as well than the way that I look.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it really. But I think, with this episode, our hope was that, I don't know, maybe it is just as that, I wouldn't say necessarily feel guilty, but I think you were saying, no, I don't really want my mind to be focused on a guy thinking I'm attractive all the time.
Yeah.
And so you can, in a lot of ways, I think, I don't know, even maybe feel a bit guilty for just letting your mind fixate on that, where actually you probably do know, I probably should be thinking more about my friends right now or helping them, or I don't know, it's your friend's birthday and all you're thinking about is, oh, do I look good enough for this guy to ask me out or whatever? And you think, oh, I really should be giving my friend a bit more attention. It's her part. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that where it can become more consuming.
It's when we've said before, where you go to a wedding and you're just consumed more with the way that you look than the people getting married.
It's literally not about you. It's their day, not yours.
Glam so.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think with this episode, we kind of wanted to remove some of the guilt in terms of just saying it is not just you, but equally, I guess like Rachel was saying just then about, there's so much more to us as people and there's so much of our energy that we could give to other things.
Yeah, and I
how can we kind of acknowledge that it's a reality of being a human, but equally doesn't always have to be where your mind's going. Yeah,
and also just acknowledging, yes, we can all think like that, but when you actually start to kind of break it down, it's does it make you feel good to think like that? Yeah. No, not really. If you're just constantly thinking, what does someone think about the way that I look? What do they think about the way that I look? Even though, like we've said, that is completely natural and we all do it, it's not actually overall a really life-giving thought process, is it?
Yeah.
You're just critiquing yourself constantly.
That's it. I think that as soon as you go into that mind space, it's kind of, you're just not going to win because there's always going to be something that you could look at yourself and think, oh, that could be better, could improve that, could change that. And yeah, I think it can just get quite
You
sad.
just get really self-critical, oh, maybe they don't like me because of this or because of that, or maybe if I did this, and it's like you were saying at the start, don't need to be changing ourselves for a man.
No, we really don't.
Okay, so if you could say something to your younger self in one of those moments where you're getting stressed about the way that you look, trying to impress a guy, what would you say?
I would say that really it's kind of as simple as they either like the way that you look or they don't.
Yeah.
To put it bluntly, and there's really in some ways no other alternative option, because what are you going to do? You can't, I mean, you can do all this stuff to change it, but like for me, it's like, I'm not going to. But it's like, so what are you going to do? You're going to completely change your hair or completely change your body or completely change your skin or whatever it is that you're kind of feeling isn't good enough or you're self-conscious about. A lot of it you really can't change that dramatically. So yeah. And also, even if you did, and you did find a way to change all these things about you, would that person even really like you for who you are?
Yeah.
So
you want them to like you for you.
So you've kind of, in some ways, not, it is as simple as it sounds, you haven't really got another option. They either like you for the way that you look or they don't.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that if they like you, you're beautiful, and if they don't like you, you're ugly. It means that that is just their personal preference that they're allowed to have. There's other people that will think that you're attractive and beautiful. So don't take someone saying no as I'm ugly and yes as I'm beautiful, but just kind of that's the same
what it
way.
is. Yeah. Oh, preach it, honey.
I don't know if that made sense.
That did make a lot of sense. I think the first thing that comes to mind for me would actually be around like getting ready. Like I think having just thought about that and reflected on the days of getting ready as a teenager, and I think I'd just say calm down. Like
Chill
in
out.
every aspect. Like you don't need to take 5 hours to get ready for one night out.
Would you take 5 hours?
Okay, that was a slight exaggeration, but at least 3.
3?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
I don't know.
Faffing.
I mean, some of that would include like getting changed, like photos.
So that takes what, a minute?
Yeah, anyways.
Okay.
So calm down in terms of time, calm down in terms of effort. Like I think even sometimes I just look back like, oh gosh, like just calm down.
When I've seen pictures of you from school, you're not like...
Have you seen on a night out?
Yeah, but all I can tell is that you're wearing fake eyelashes.
Okay, cool. Well, this is my point. I didn't need to spend that amount of time, did I, to look like that at the end?
Rubbish. Barely look like you put in any effort. No, more just like from knowing you now, where you don't actually take very long getting ready.
Yes, I know. This is what I'm saying.
You don't.
I've
look
learned that over the years.
Okay.
I don't need to spend that long getting ready.
Okay.
And I think also just, I think it's almost like you can do all you want with your makeup, your outfit. You do just still look like the same person. So like, and I think even just when I would be getting ready, it would become quite stressful. And like, there were times where, it was just like, all just quite highly strung and like, I think even just those classic vibes at school getting ready where it all just becomes a bit much and a bit intense and everyone kind of loses sight of what they're actually doing. Like, just chill out and relax, Rach. Like, you'll look how you look for this party. If you don't look the best you've ever looked, that's okay.
You'll still have a good time.
If the guys don't find you attractive, like, on that night, they're lost. Get in the bin. Like, but yeah, no. So I think I'd just say, just calm down. Where I'd just go down these tunnels of thinking and just completely lose perspective of what I was getting ready for as well, acting like I'm going to like
the Oscars.
The Oscars.
The red carpet awaits. It's like it's a 15-year-old's house party.
Yeah, bro. Like, chill out. Anyways, so yeah, guys.
But, okay, just quickly on that. just thinking retrospectively, you can barely even remember when you think back to these things, what you were wearing, what you looked like. Do you remember the stuff that happened when you got there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, like you say, is just thinking about your energy usage. That you don't, all this time that you're spending thinking about it and, you know, getting ready and whatever it is, do you even remember what you look like, what you wore?
Yeah, exactly. So I think
you remember the people.
The
memories.
overall conclusion of this episode, guys, is we totally get, and we do it ourselves, trying to impress boys with the way that you look. But there is just more to life than getting too caught up in that.
Yes.
And instead of becoming super self-critical and going down holes and just spending a lot of time laboring over the way that you look, why not focus on the things in your life and the people in your life and what you're actually doing? Because when you look back, even like us as 24-year-olds, I'm not thinking about the outfit that I spent hours stressing about.
Or can you even remember the name of the boy that you're trying to impress?
So true. Yeah, I can actually.
Yeah, I can, and I still wish that he noticed me.
No, it's so true. So anyway, there we go.
There we go.
I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you're watching on YouTube, hopefully you can still see us.
Just about.
It's dusk. And let us know your thoughts on this episode, guys.
We'd love to hear them.
Do you try and impress boys with the way you look? Or is it just us?
I don't think it's just us.
It could be though.
Wonderful. Well, we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.